In April 1976, during the bicentennial, four young people living in Camden went to a meeting of the St. Vincent de Paul Society with a bold idea. Dominic Vallone was one of those 20-somethings.
We explained that we wanted to start a soup kitchen in Camden. At the end of the meeting, we were given a check for $150. And I can recall very vividly walking back to the car after that meeting. And we got into the car and we looked at each other and we looked at the check. And we knew there was no turning back.
For almost 20 years, the casserole program provided most of the food for Cathedral Kitchen. The casseroles were heated and served by volunteers who grew in number in keeping with the people coming to the kitchen for meals. When it became apparent a cook was needed to keep up with the need, in 1991, the board hired its first employee, Teresa Jones. She became known as Mom to dinner guests and volunteers.
People were in cardboard boxes all outside the doors of the kitchen. One man went even and got in the dumpster, trying to stay warm in the winter.
The kitchen forged ahead, moving from one lone space to another. It was clear that if they were to continue to help people, they needed a permanent home and a dedicated administrator to guide the vision. As so often happens at the kitchen, the right person appeared at just the right time.
What could be better for an Italian girl to make sure that 300 people are fed every day?
Karen Tallarico was hired as the kitchen's first executive director.
So I show up the first day on the job, and we were in the old building then, which was the gymnasium of one of the Camden elementary schools. And I sit down at the desk and I'm thinking, well, this is really strange. There was no phone, there was no light, there was no computer. But I saw the heart. I mean, they really just lived for this mission of feeding people. They really did. They cooked in this ridiculous little kitchen. I mean, my kitchen at home was so much nicer than the kitchen that they cooked in down at the old building.
So the board went to work with Karen at the helm and launched a capital campaign for the new building. In November of 2008, Cathedral Kitchen's new home became a reality with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and the serving of the first meal at 1514 Federal Street. Each dinner guest had a favorite dish, including long-timer Tito Rosario.
Oh, rice and Q meat. That's my favorite. Q meat and macaroni. I love it. Sometimes, I like to make it second.
As Karen Tallarico well knows, having the right staff is everything.
One of the best things I ever did was hire Jonathan Jernigan. I still remember the day that Jonathan came to meet with me in this new building, but it wasn't finished yet, in my office, which was still just studs, and we had to wear hard hats because we were meeting over there and sit on folding chairs. And he came, and he was so well dressed, suit, tie. He had on a beautiful overcoat, and it's so dusty in there. And we're having this meeting, and I just got this sense from him that he would be perfect for the job.
Chef Jonathan was hired to oversee the meal program and to be the instructor of the Culinary Arts Training Program. The first class started in February of 2009. Most students in the class have not had an easy time of life. Incarceration, living in shelters. This is Chef Jonathan.
I got one guy from our first class that comes to mind. The guy had all the talent in the world, did a lot of prison time, incarceration, and came home back to his family, back to the same streets that he left 17 years ago. And the streets consumed him within a couple months of him being home again. It just makes you go harder, you know what I mean?
This is Karen Tallarico.
Unfortunately, we've had a few who left us and, went back to selling drugs in the street. We can't save everybody, but sometimes we do, and that's amazing.
80% of the graduates are placed in jobs, and a job can change a life. Just ask Isaac Dean.
I grew up in a city that will swallow you up. It has swallowed up so many people, and I lived through it. I could have made different choices. I have made choices. I have made poor choices. But it takes guts to go out there on your own and try to build something that you started. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of living the true American dream. And I'm glad that and proud that I represent honesty and hard work.
The design for the new building includes space for basic health screenings. The Project Smiles Dental Clinic soon became part of that vision. Now, Karen's dentist, Dr. Bob Leonetti, is one of a dozen dentists who volunteer whatever time they can to keep the clinic open 2 days a week.
The need is tremendous. There is very little in the way of insurance. These people need meat and potatoes, basic dental services. They need extractions. They need fillings so they don't wind up needing extractions. You can do some really good things for people and help them with their quality of life, help them with their job search, take them out of pain, help them eat better, help them with their appearance so that they can go out into the world and make a difference. These patients get our best.
In 2011, the board of directors finalized a plan that called for developing an income stream to help ensure funding. A catering initiative took shape with our chef and cooks preparing food for local events. In 2013, the building next door was purchased and rehabbed the following year. A ribbon cutting was held in April of 2015 to welcome the community.
And so now we have a nice little cafe that's open to the public for lunch and for catered events for other organizations in the city. And a kitchen that rocks 7 days a week, 365 days a year, kicks out 1,600 plus meals a day.
This is Chef Jonathan.
It's just good to give this back to the city. You know what I mean? The cafe with the rooftop garden is going on. The place is beautiful. You know, our artwork by the kids is phenomenal. The energy that you feel when you walk in the door is something that you'll never forget. It's like everybody here is having fun and caring about people.
And with the expansion, Cathedral Kitchen has been able to hire its own graduates. Over the years, Cathedral Kitchen has served more than 1 million meals and touched millions of lives. Teresa Jones.
One of my hands is tired. Over 1 million meals. Oh my God. That's amazing. And see, you just doing it. Each day you just do it. It's really one day at a time. One step at a time. These people here were eating good and living good. Because we took care of them when they was here. We took care of their children and took care of them. Yeah. Yes.